Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Paul's Cinema Picks of the Week. I, of course, am your host, Paul Westbrook, and today we're going to be talking about the Anne of Green Gables series. Yes, Anne of Green Gables, it was a very famous story. It was written by Lucy Maud Montgomery, and it takes place in Canada. It's basically about a little red-haired girl who was an orphan, and she goes to live with her Aunt Marilla Cuthbert, and it's certainly a very tender, loving type story. And as this girl goes through her life, like in Canada, like Nova Scotia and that area and stuff. And anyway, let's get to the movie. The first film, Anne of Green Gables, this one was made in the 30s, and a little interesting anecdote to it is that the girl here who plays Anne Shirley, her real name is Anne Shirley, which is what really drew me to it, plus the fact that it was probably the first version of the movie, of the story that's actually been filmed. And it's short because the TV series was like over 3 or 4 hours long. It was like a mini-series, but this movie here, which actually, yes, was made in 1934. I just read the cover here. And Max Steiner does the music. But yes, it tells about Anne coming to live with her Aunt Marilla and uncle. And it says, a spirited orphan with a vivid imagination endears herself to the older couple to take her in and everyone else around her. And of course, her dealings with the boy that she eventually falls in love with, Gilbert Blythe. And Anne herself, she's a girl that takes no guff. Like there's some girls that they always seem to play the damsel in distress type, but not Anne. Anne's very headstrong. And she deals with life with her Aunt Marilla, and what it's like to finally have a family for the first time. Because her aunt seems mean at first, but as it goes along, the aunt actually proves that she's actually very nice, and that she truly loves Anne very much. Yeah, but this is the one that started it all. This is the 1934 original movie. Then, here, Sullivan Entertainment presents Anne of Green Gables. This was the first series with Megan Follows and Colleen Dewhurst, and Richard Farnsworth. And they both play the older couple that actually adopt Anne. And yes, it said this one was actually filmed in Prince Edward Island. Like, you get to see the entire island in Canada here. And this series here actually won, I think, some awards for the acting that they did and for just the overall setting. But I actually like this one. Like, even though I liked the original one, this one was always the one that I remember when I first saw Anne of Green Gables. And I know a lot of people actually enjoyed the Lucy Montgomery books. So this one here, I think they took their time and they really filmed every detail, every facet of the book that Montgomery had written on Anne. And I thought Megan Follows did a magnificent job playing the part. Here we have Anne of Green Gables, the sequel. And this sequel basically follows Anne as she makes a transition from a romantic, impetuous orphan to an outspoken adventurous and accomplished teacher. Megan Follows, of course, returns as Anne. And this one here, like you said there, she's no longer the little girl that she was in the first movie. She actually starts teaching classes. All the while, Gilbert Blythe is still trying to fall in love with her, and I think they end up together and married. And Colleen Dewhurst returns, and Marilla's a little older now, so they said it was, this one again also won Emmy Awards for its acting and for the settings itself. If you have the first one, you definitely have to get the second one so you get the second half of the story and how it continues. But Megan Follows, as I said, was a magnificent Anne. Here we have the third movie. Third movie, which is called Anne of Green Gables, A Continuing Story. And Anne's in their 20s now. Marilla has actually died. And she is married to Gilbert Blythe. And it says here, according to the description, that Gilbert had been offered a staff position at a hospital in New York and wants Anne to come along, and because he's arranged a position for her at a large publishing house. So she goes to the big city. She finds it's not really her cup of tea, and it also says that the manuscript that Anne wrote is stolen by an American writer named Jack Garrison. So this one here concludes more or less the storyline that was started off in the two series previously, like it's another 2 or 3 hour series. And so you get a change of setting. You get Anne living in New York, and then with the war effort in Europe, and eventually returns to Prince Edward Island, which is where the main setting of the story is. Then after, when you thought the series was done, they came up with Anne of Green Gables, A New Beginning. This one here is 1945. It goes right here. 1945. Anne's returned to Prince Edward Island for an extended visit because she's living somewhere else now. And she agrees to write a play for a theater producer. And her son is overseas, so she's sort of missing him, and she's grieving over that, so at the same time, so she goes to Prince Edward Island so she can write in peace. And it says, a long hidden secret in the form of a letter from an errant father discovered under the floor of the Green Gables provides a distraction of its own. And she goes back into her memories, like her childhood, the troubled years before she arrived at the Green Gables house. So you get to see Anne's whole backstory. The mother's death, the father's abandonment, and Anne as a child, which is shown in a lot of flashbacks. And you get a little bit into the backstory of the character. You find out more about her, what she'd gone through. So by the time she gets to Prince Edward Island, she's adopted by the Cuthberts. That she'd already been through a situation, so that it helps her when she gets adopted by the Cuthberts, and then she becomes the Anne Shirley that we're very familiar with. I've always liked the Anne of Green Gables books. I remember reading them in school. I have a few friends that actually enjoy Anne of Green Gables and thought it was a really good story. So, yeah, I'm sure they'll be happy to take a look and see about these films. But, for now, that was a look at Anne of Green Gables. This is Paul Westbrook reminding you to like and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you leave a comment in the bottom of the screen there so that we can see them. And like my sister said, if you want to see a live show, comment, because that would be really good to actually do. And it'd be challenging, a little challenging for me. I've never done a live show, so it'll be something different, but I like doing different things. And what else can I say? Guess I'll see you at the movie.